Hey guys, welcome back to another Weird Wednesday. I'm Ashers, and this is.
Pedo.
And also,
Heather Moser.
oh my gosh, we have another. We're back with the guest again. Look at us, Pato. We're
People like
doing the
us. Yeah.
damn thing. I know we kind of took a break last week. We gave you guys Spring Hill Jack. He didn't show up. It was rude of him, but he didn't. But this week we've got Heather from. Heather does lots of things. We'll talk about what Heather does here in a little bit. Pato, how was your weekend?
My weekend was awesome. I attended Game Hole in beautiful Madison, Wisconsin. Met up with Tobias and Emily Wayland of the Singular 14 Society, singular14.com. Friday night, we ate cookies, drank Bud Light, and talked shit, and also got to play Dungeon Crawler Classics. It was a lot of fun. This was our second year meeting up at Game Hole, and we actually got to game together this time. Last year, we just had a real quick meet and greet. This time, we kind of hung out and broke bread and gamed for 4 hours, 5 hours. That was a lot of fun. Saturday, I did the convention with my son, which was his first con. We had a blast. Everyone was cool. We played well. And I think it's going to be a yearly thing for us. So, I do Gary Con in March in Lake Geneva. And I think this is going to be a tradition too, doing Game Hole in Madison.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and hopefully when we do the Cincinnati Frogman thing, we'll get a game or two going either the night before, the night after. I don't know, so that we can initiate you into our tribe.
You can't see me, but I'm shaking my head.
Is shaking your head? Yes. Shaking your head? No.
Just shaking my head.
Play some D&D with us. You're gonna be a gnome.
Just the general, whatever. Anyway, it sounds like you had a great weekend.
Yeah, so that was good. And then two things I want to talk about real quick. Number one, on Y2K Movies, we have an episode this week with Chris Holm from Conspira Theory, where we talk about 2015's transhumanist furry masterpiece, Jupiter Ascending, from the Wachowskis. We got some Halloween themed stuff coming up later on this week with the show. And it sounds like we're having Aaron Dees on in November to talk about Godzilla movies.
Ooh.
So, yeah. I'm not really a Godzilla person, but apparently he is. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, yeah. He is.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a double feature like we did with you. We're gonna do Shin Godzilla and Final Wars,
Oh, yeah. That's good. That's
which
good
are
stuff.
two of the better ones. And then also officially November 5th at the Lyric Theater in beautiful downtown Blue Island, Illinois, the Orange County of the Midwest. Recipe for Oblivion will be making its big screen debut before shuffling off to the Troma Now app. So come out at 7 p.m. on Saturday, November 5th. The Lyric Theater in Blue Island. Tickets are on sale via the website, but I also reserved a table because it is like assigned seating, and it's a 9-seat table back by the bar. And if you get to me quick enough, we might have one or two of those open. But please, if you're a Chicagoland listener of the show, Saturday, November 5th at Lyric Theater for the Blue Island Film Festival. Come on out.
Okay, very cool. And of course, like we said last week, actually, shout out to big fan of the show, Danny. He's going to subscribe to Troma now to watch Pato's movie and all the other Troma movies. But if
Oh,
you're not,
really?
yeah, 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 yeah. He said he's never, he's never really gotten into Troma films before. You're gonna
The
love him.
fuck?
You're
How?
gonna love him if you
Yeah,
like the show.
yes, that seems like almost a prerequisite of
You're gonna
of
love Troma.
liking our show is that you had to have watched Toxic Avenger at like an inappropriate age. I mean, I
Right.
guess good for you. You obviously had a better childhood than me and Asher's did, but
Yeah, yeah.
wow.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, he's subbing to it, Pat, just for your movie. So
Oh my God. Thanks,
there's
Danny.
that. He's gonna appreciate that. Heather, what'd you do this weekend? Anything exciting?
Should have scotted off with Spring Hill Jack.
I know. Heather ran away. Heather got abducted. We'll we'll come back to Heather. Oh, here we go.
Why don't you get into your weekend and I'll handle the tech side of things.
Gotcha. Okay. So I had an okay weekend. I just did family stuff. I took my daughter trunk or treating, and
Oh yes. Oh
people
yes.
people don't like that. I guess people don't like trunk or treating. People are like totally against it. Why? Do you hate fun? I don't
No,
understand.
because I hate having to fucking decorate my car. Like that's what I don't like about it. I mean,
No.
it's good for the kids, I guess, because they can go trick or treating in a parking lot as opposed to like wandering around a neighborhood, but what's wrong with wandering around a neighborhood? And
Yeah.
then you have to decorate your car so that it looks like something, which is just a gigantic pain in the ass. Um, I don't know. I guess we have to do one with my kids' school every year. So I have a very skewed
Why do you
perspective
have
of
to do one?
because my wife's on the PTL. So like we have to participate in all that shit. We just can't be bystanders.
Okay.
You know me, I got to get involved. I can't just be like some fucking guy that shows up to shit. I got to be the one running it.
Well, I took
So,
my daughter trunk or treating, and that wasn't the point of the story.
okay,
Um,
sorry.
that's okay. That's okay. I was just saying that people, give shit. They don't like trunk or treating. I think that's dumb. Anyway, more candy. I mean, what do you hate about that? Anyway,
Right.
while we were trunk or treating, guess what? Or who I saw?
I don't know.
There was a Mothman there.
Wow, one of the Halloween costumes.
Yeah, there was a little Mothman, and it was way cool. I was super excited about that. So I was going to, talk to the Mothman kid, but my daughter got very upset and very embarrassed and did not want me to talk to him. So I didn't. But, you know, I guess, so there was somebody else there, another adult that we knew, and she was saying that the Mothman kid, did really like the Mothman. He was really into it. I was super excited that they're going to go to the festival next year and this, that, and the other. And I was like, damn it, that kid probably would have loved to have met me. And I didn't say anything. So,
You know, just to interject real quick, my kid had it's like their like I don't know, it's called Ribbon Week, and today was bring a stuffed animal to school day, and he brought in a stuffed Cthulhu that he had, and he was a little nervous about it because he was like, are they gonna? Because he goes to like a Christian school, and he was like, are they gonna not let me go? Are they gonna like? Am I gonna get in trouble because it's an elder god? And I was like, well, I don't know. I'm like, you can bring like one of your Pokemon stuffed animals if you want. And he decided that he wanted to bring it. And when I picked him up today, I said, hey, how'd it go? Like, did anyone say anything? Did the teacher say anything? He was like, yeah, everybody asked me who it is. And I said Cthulhu, and no one knew who I was talking about. And I thought, like, well, yeah, because you're in fucking sixth grade, number one. But number two, like, what benefit do our kids have from like having weird cool parents, you know what I mean? And that kid who like had the Mothman costume on, that probably flew over 90% of the other kids' heads, and even the parents, I'd say, you know what I mean?
right.
Like, that's so interesting that like you have these kids that like lock onto these like weird cultural things. And for us growing up, like especially for me, because I was the reason I knew who H.P. Lovecraft was because I listened to Metallica, and they had an instrumental song on their second album called Call of Cthulhu, and I went the extra step to figure out what that was about and blah blah blah. And then I had to order like the book from a fucking bookstore at the mall and shit. Like it's not even like I
Mhm.
go on the internet and look it up. So props to that kid for being weird and for being for doing that because you know they're they're
Yeah,
not the
for sure. I don't think anybody knew that he was Mothman. But I did, and I should, like I said, I should have
yeah.
stopped him.
Was
But
he a
my daughter was
Fallout
like,
fan, you think, or
she
do you
got
think he
weird
was
about it.
just
She's like, no, he was.
don't
I
talk to
found
that
out.
kid?
I found out that he was a Mothman. He was just a Mothman fan because, like I said, there was another adult there that we knew who was passing out candy, and she said he was talking about the festival and everything. He likes Mothman himself, so I was like, oh.
Wow.
So I should have talked to him, and my daughter was like, no.
Is he in your daughter's grade?
I don't know. He had a mask on. He was Mothman. I don't know who the hell he was. He could have been a midget. I don't know. I don't know who he was. So I did that. And then I also Sunday. I recorded with the Bloody Bits Horror Show, which I've been on many times before. Definitely go
Hmm.
check that out. It's out now. We talked about the 2007 hit masterpiece, The Signal. Spoiler alert, it's actually not a masterpiece. It's really not that good. But we did a whole episode about it. It was interesting because normally when I go on their show, I usually come to talk about really fucked up disturbing movies. But this month was a little bit different. They were like doing a gift exchange for their guests. So one of their previous guests picked a movie for me, and then I picked a movie for them.
Which one did
They
you
gave
pick?
They gave me the signal. I gave them Bad Boy Bubby. So, and if you
I've
never
never heard of
seen,
that.
oh god, listen, it's really a wonderful movie. I'm gonna say that right now. It is fucking good, but there's a lot of incest. So, that's just fair warning.
Between who?
Between the main character and his mother.
Is she hot?
No.
Well, fuck that then.
it's not. It's not sexy. It's oh my god.
I mean, are we talking like sleepwalkers here?
I
Like,
don't know. I've never seen Sleepwalkers. Anyway,
oh,
just
okay.
go listen to the Bloody Bits episode of The Signal. Go watch Bad Boy Bubby if you can stomach it. I've got impeccable taste in movies, as everybody knows. So Heather, how was your weekend?
Well, my weekend was kind of stressful. Everybody's been sick here at the house. Everybody's been
Ooh,
passing around an illness because, one child can't get sick without getting the other sick. And then by the time mom's done taking care of them, then mom is also sick.
oh,
So that was most of my weekend and finishing up the last bit of formatting for Bruce Hallenbeck's book that will be coming out November 7th.
yeah, I saw that. Very cool.
Yeah. So, and that, again, similar to the tech problems here, had me wanting to throw my computer through the window, just because formatting is not my forte at all. But we got it handled. So,
Sure. Sounds great. Well, I'm glad
yeah.
that I'm glad that you joined us. I'm glad that you made it here finally.
Yeah. Goodness, thank you. You've been so kind because when you first asked and I was like, "Oh yeah, I can do Monday." And then a couple weeks later I'm like, "Oh, my daughter has a choir concert. Shit." And then I'm watching my son play some Tim Burton-esque game tonight, not realizing that it's Tuesday and I get the email. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm late. I'm not okay today." But yeah,
No,
I'll
it's
pull it
okay.
together.
We might seem like we have our shit together, but we absolutely do not. So you're just in good company. That's fine.
Yay. Good.
So it's all good. Let's get into some news, huh? Let's talk about some news that happened. One thing I want to talk about is, what's been hot. Of course, these things always seem to happen. Typically, we record the show on Mondays. And I believe this is what happened last week. We recorded the show, and then Tuesday, this Ogopogo picture dropped.
Mm.
Let's talk about this dumb picture for a minute. I guess I shouldn't say it's dumb, but okay. A couple were on Lake Okanagan. They allegedly saw this thing in the water. They took a picture of it. People are going nuts over it. If you haven't seen it already, go to my social medias and go look at. I'll repost it again. I'll post a link in the description. But it just to me, it looks like a mascot head. It looks like the head of a furry costume. Like that's what I see. I cannot get past seeing a wolf. Some
Mm.
people have said that they see a duck that's like diving and then it's the feet sticking up out of the water. I've seen all kinds of clever plastic mask. I've seen that. I don't know. Have you guys seen this picture?
Yes, I have seen it on your social media actually, and to me, it looks like something made out of wood. Like,
Okay.
I
Looks
don't
like floating
know.
garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I see a face, but I just don't. I don't think it's a creature. Uh, I don't know.
No,
It
I don't.
just looks like
It looks
something.
static. It looks like it's just floating there.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
there's no like waves around it, like it's in motion at all. And then, on top of that, yeah, you kind of see the face and a head, but there's no like
Mhm.
body
Yeah.
attached to it.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah, the
what?
ears are sticking up.
Yeah, it's like ears sticking out of the water. And the couple said that those 2 points between those 2 points in the water was about 3 feet.
What?
But allegedly, yeah. So I mean that makes it a lot bigger. However, once again, we know humans are terrible at measuring things with the naked eye. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. Pato, your opinion is garbage in the water.
Yeah, some trash.
Okay. It's trash. There's the consensus there. But speaking of other lake monsters, there has been another Nessie sighting, the sixth one of the year, actually. Spotted on October 11th by a mother and daughter, kind of walking the loch there. They saw this hump come out of the water, and that was it. Well, they're calling it an aquatic anomaly, is what they saw. So they're not saying it's Nessie, but it has been officially registered under the the official Loch Ness sightings site, allegedly. So
Did the webcams pick up on anything? Because I feel like that's one of the more heavily monitored bodies of water, right? Like they got all those webcams and shit out. So what did they?
Nothing.
Did they didn't corroborate?
No. No, but I mean, I don't think every single inch of the loch has a webcam on it. So, to my understanding. So, yeah, I mean, it's just another Nessie sighting. Again, we are not on par with what we had last year. She was seeing tons. Yet last year was a record-breaking year. Right now, we're in October. This is only the sixth sighting. I don't even think we're going to get close to what I should have pulled up the number of how many we had last year, but I don't think we're going to get close to that. So
we could start calling them in.
Calling in Nessie sightings just to pad the numbers.
Yeah.
No.
Just to juke the stats. I mean,
2022 is the year. Just start throwing them out there. I guess we could, but I can't advise that. If you guys do it, you're doing it for Pat O, not for me.
Sure.
But anyway, Pat O, you wanted to talk about something, huh?
Oh, you're gonna make me do this one?
Yeah.
Fuck.
You brought it up.
So I saw on Twitter yesterday, but it was also covered by NPR and CNN, that NASA announced the team members for its UFO study. So a group of 16 researchers will spend the next 9 months studying unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAP. And the list of the team members is kind of impressive and non-impressive. Like there's no, it's a bunch of professors of physics, people that work for the Office of Aviation, a Navy test pilot, people that work in private industry and technology companies, electrical engineers, so people that work in astronomy, stuff like that. So people that surface level have the credentials that you think that you might want to have study something like this, but there's no like UFOologists or anything. There's no, I don't know, people that have ever been on Coast to Coast. Like, you think you would have thrown a couple of those people in there, right? Like, don't you think?
One of them has been on Coast to Coast, and I can't remember which one.
Okay.
I did read that, but I agree with that. Right. Clearly, none of them are ufologists. None of them are your favorite podcasters. None of them are your favorite YouTubers. No names that you would conventionally recognize if you are simply a fan of this stuff. And, is that wrong? I don't know. I mean, I kind of posed the idea when they started doing the UAP quote unquote disclosure. What are they going to do with us? What are they going to do with the researchers?
I feel like it is wrong. I'm going to go out on a limb there and say that I think that you need, I wouldn't trust it if it was a group of self-published Amazon authors or something, right? Like I wouldn't trust it if it was the talking heads from the History Channel Ancient Aliens show.
Right.
But you can throw like one or two of them in there for color, like, right? Like people that at least have read the books and like
people in the culture, sure.
Sat around and smoked weed and talked about this shit before. Like you have somebody, like you'll throw one of them in there, get one oddball. I'm not suggesting it would be me or anything, but like, I don't know. It felt a little like they very much stacked the deck in one direction. They had a lot of people that knew a lot about science, but not necessarily anyone that was familiar with the
lore. It's the lore.
Yeah, the lore, or just the thought processes up until this point. People that have been taught, like I'm willing to, and now you said somebody on this of this group had been on Coast to
Yeah,
Coast.
one
Okay,
of them
cool.
had been, right.
One of the 16. That's awesome. But like, I would like to see at least 2 or 3 people that have thought about this before, like actively thought about this and researched this topic and philosophized about this topic before they were tapped to be on this like team. You know what I mean?
But what would the guideline for that look like? What kind of, what kind of resume would you need to have in order to be like, oh, I'm somebody that actually kind of knows what I'm talking about a little bit, but I'm open, but I'm not crazy.
Written a book, made a documentary. I mean,
But even those people can be crazy.
Well, not Heather. I mean, or her.
Oh, sure.
Like she could have been on this. They could have found room for her.
Oh yeah.
You want to take up much space? Get her a little stack of telephone books at the end of the table.
Now, so you got to give Heather a job. That's what I'm saying. Heather.
I'm just that's all I'm saying. I ain't trying to tell NASA how to do their job, but
I am. They could have had like me or Heather. I'll take a NASA job. Fuck. No, I mean, I get.
Do they drug test?
Oh
man, do they piss test for this?
Well, I'm out. Fuck. They probably do. It's NASA.
Yeah, I would have to say NASA piss test before they let you in the door. They probably hair follicle. They probably take it really serious.
Yeah, they probably do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, no, I hear what you're saying. I agree. Like I said, I posed that question when all this kind of started. Well, what happens to us? Are we just out of a job now? Is what's going on? Some people have dedicated their entire lives to this and know what they're talking about. And maybe they should be involved. I agree. Because you're right. You don't have anybody that's an expert per se on the lore, but this isn't really, people are talking about this. Everybody's excited about it. It's really not, it's exciting, I guess, but only, I don't know. It's only so far. They're not really doing much. They're just trying to figure out right now. They're like in the pre-planning stage and they're trying to figure out how they can study these things. And they're not doing it with anything from the past. They're trying to figure out going forward, because the reason for that is because they don't have access. NASA has said, we don't have access to the US government's classified records. We don't know what they say. We don't know what that information has. So now we have to create our own file and go forward. So they're just now starting. So I don't know.
That doesn't seem fair.
Exactly. Right. Yes, exactly. If anybody's going to study this stuff, shouldn't it be NASA and maybe not the government? Somebody neutral like NASA, who isn't ran by the government, but maybe that's just, but then again, the government's not going to trust NASA with their classified information because they are seeing this as some type of military threat. So, that's what we're looking at. So I don't know. We'll see. I would rather contactees and things like that report to NASA than I would the government. And there's a lot of people that are like, oh, fuck NASA. They lie too. And it's like, but again, still NASA didn't, conduct mind control experiments on us. That was the government. So, that's just me.
You sound like a crazy person there. You realize that, right?
What do you mean? How do I sound like a crazy person? That actually happened.
I know that, but you don't have to bring up MK Ultra all the time.
I do. That's my fucking straw man argument. God damn it.
Right.
What it is. But anyway, I don't know. It'll be, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what NASA decides to do with this information, how they're going to compile this information. I don't really care so much about who they got on it, as long as they got somebody on it.
Yeah, I think we're all managing our expectations here. Like, I don't, to think that they're going to come with something or it's going to result in the release of something. It's going to result in the release of exactly they want it, whatever they want it to be. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to, this isn't some independent multi-nation council. This is very much inside people, academic people that aren't going to challenge the norm too much. So that is what it is.
Heather, do you have an opinion on NASA studying UAPs?
I guess the more people studying it, the better. Sure. I can see why they would kind of steer away from anybody that would discuss the folklore or anything like that right now if they're wanting to be science based.
Right.
Because then I feel like, I mean, those of us that believe in it are going to believe in it anyway. So the goal would be to try to convince those who want something, I guess, a little more concrete. So if they could say, well, these scientists have actually discovered whatever, then everybody's like, oh, okay.
Sure.
All right. Sure,
Yeah.
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 All right,
Not the guy
I'm
that said
down.
he was abducted, but the actual
Right.
scientist said this. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Who cares if that guy had a personal experience? The scientist said that it happened. So yeah, I
It's
don't know.
it's definitely bridging the gap. Trying to close the stigma. I think we're just way far off from it still.
Yeah.
But this is just a step in it. So I don't know. We'll
Mhm.
see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, that was really all the news that we had this week. Nothing too major and exciting, but let's talk about what we're here to talk about. Heather, if people don't
Hi.
know already who you are, would you mind just kind of giving a brief rundown about who you are, what you do, things like that?
So my name is Heather. I am a producer for a documentary film company called Small Town Monsters. So I'm a producer and researcher for them, and that pretty much takes up most of my time, really. But I'm also a writer. The podcast that I was running is on hiatus right now, just because we're like really busy with the docs. But
Yeah.
The Lore You Know was a podcast that I was running where I was talking to really cool people just about stories and storytelling. Um, but I do write. I've been in the Feminine Macabre, which is an all-female journal of ladies in the paranormal. Um, I don't know. I like to go ghost hunting. I like to take walks in the woods. I don't know. I like to game D
Ooh.
and D all the way. I like the game conversation that was happening earlier. It was cool
Oh,
to hear about Emily and Tobias because I
You
would
ever?
absolutely game with them sometime.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Do you ever go to any of the like conventions or anything? Or
I have not, although where I am, we're not far from what Gen Con.
in
Um,
Indianapolis?
yeah,
Yeah, that sounds like crazy big for me. Like it's at the
it
Colts
does.
Stadium.
Mm,
Like I can't even imagine navigating that or dealing with that many people. Not that I'm like
yeah.
agoraphobic or anything, but like that just seems like a lot of like the Lake Geneva one, Gary Con, which is kind of the original. That's almost getting to be too hectic. The Madison, Wisconsin one is very chill, and
Mm,
that's I really like that speed. I like that energy. It's not super chaotic and busy. It's very diverse and fun and low key.
yeah, I wouldn't be able to handle big crowds either. I mean, Mothman is overwhelming this year, but I
yeah.
felt safer behind the booth, I guess. I don't know if safer is even the right word, just away from the crowd enough that I was okay. But if I had to go to the bathroom or something and work my way through the crowd, that was a little much for me.
Intimidating. Yeah, I
Mhm.
understand that. Well, and like I said, we didn't vend, but I knew plenty of people. I'm like, hey, can I hide at your booth?
Yeah,
And it worked.
exactly.
So I get that. So do you just do tabletop gaming or do you do video gaming too?
So I used to play video games. I don't play them so much anymore. If I sit down and play now,
Yeah,
it's more like busting out the NES or SNES.
sure.
But I did go many years playing World of Warcraft back in the day.
Well,
So,
yeah.
uh, yeah, there's like talk about being like addicted to a game. There's still times, I mean, I haven't played World of Warcraft in 10, 11 years, and I'll still have moments where I'm like, man, I really miss running through UC, even though most people wouldn't say that. But like, I miss running through Undercity, and I miss the dungeons, not the raids. There's too many people involved, but like the little dungeons, just grinding, that kind of stuff, and the color
Collected
schemes and
leather.
all that. Yeah, no, I never collected leather. I went and picked plants and I made potions. Yeah, I didn't. I was never a leather worker. I was always an alchemist.
I liked
But
I liked WoW until about level 30 because that's when I would solo it. I didn't like
yeah,
guilds. I didn't like having to like keep a
yeah,
schedule where it's my raid night. Although now
exactly.
I do every 2 weeks. Actually, I have it tomorrow night. I get together with a group of guys on Discord, and we
Mhm.
play DCC, which is like D&D is Dungeons and Dragons. DCC is Dungeon Crawler Classics, which is
Okay.
very much like D&D from the 80s. I honestly prefer D&D 5e. That's my favorite gaming
Mhm.
system.
Yeah.
Um, Tobias, in the group chat we're in, he referred to it as like playing video. It's like tabletop video games, which I'm cool with. Like
Yeah.
I think that's a great explanation. It is very easy. It's very
Mhm.
pick up and play. It's kind of geared towards the player winning. These are all positives in my book,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
Um,
Yeah. That's what have you played Neverwinter? I played that for a good bit a couple years ago on
on PlayStation,
PlayStation.
yeah, I had downloaded it and played it a little bit, and then just didn't. And my thing with video games is that anytime I spend playing a video game is time I'm not spending writing or doing
Right.
this
Right.
or connecting with my children or paying attention to my
Yeah,
spouse or whatever. Like
sure.
it's got to be the lowest. I got to make sure that I keep it on the lowest rung on my ladder of like significance, because otherwise it'll go straight to the top and everything else will,
Oh
like,
yeah.
I have one of those day jobs where like I can work from home, and those
Mhm.
work from home days I'm playing Fallout 76. And like I have to like be very strict about how much time I allow myself. Like, okay, we're only going to level up once today and that's it. Okay, we're just going to complete this mission and that's it. you're
Yeah.
not you're not going to play for more than an hour, because 1 hour will turn into five.
Yep.
The dogs are going to go piss in the corner, and your wife's going to come home and like start screaming at you about shit. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I keep video games at a very I'm like you, I'll watch my kids. I live vicariously through them now. Like,
Yeah.
you guys play, you have fun. Oh, that looks cool. Okay, now I can go make dinner and come back and whatever. And
Right,
you
right.
know.
Yeah, having kids is what ended my World of Warcraft days.
Yeah.
Um,
Fucking kids ruin
yeah.
everything. I
Oh, but I
understand,
do miss it. Yeah. And I
yeah,
do watch my kids play. My son's an excellent gamer and
which
he's
helps.
actually gone through. Oh yeah. He's gone through and beat some of the games that I never beat as a kid because I made him start playing the old school stuff first.
That's cool.
Um, and so he's gone through and beat some stuff. And now he actually brags about that to me, like, well, you never beat Majora's Mask or whatever. I'm like, yeah, because I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah, who
I
could? Oh my god! Of all the games to bring up, of course. Yeah, like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I had a life. Like,
Yeah, I can't. No, I get too angry. You're just your
and
days are up.
they have
Yeah,
the internet. Like, they can Google that shit. Like, we had to like write it
yeah,
down on notebook paper and be
yeah.
like, okay, I have to be at this place at this. Like, I had gotten Night Trap. They re-released Night Trap for the Switch, and
Hmm.
I was able to just go online and download like when to be in every room. And I had my
Yeah.
kids sit there and just read me the time log. Like, okay, go in the library. Okay, go in bedroom number 2. And he's like, isn't this cheating? I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't even get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. You don't understand. That's what I had a Game Genie for the regular Nintendo. My kids have given me crap for that. They're like, isn't that cheating? I was like, listen, some of those games you could not beat
You
unless
just
you
couldn't,
had a Game Genie.
right?
All right. You had to have unlimited lives. I
Yeah.
don't understand.
So true. It's very well. That's that outside of like what I do here, like that is my hobby is gaming, video gaming, and retro game collecting, and retro gaming. So I mean, I don't get to do as much. I don't get to play the games as much. I agree. I think it's fucking nice that I can just go on the internet and cheat.
Yeah, yeah.
Because otherwise I would never finish it. I just would never make it through it. But so there's no shame in my cheating game. I'm saying that right now. I'm proud. So I've been trying to like make it through. This is one game I'm playing Shin Megami Tensei 5 on my Switch. And so that's my big thing. That's my nerd thing is JRPGs. I love them. And I'm so done playing it. Like I feel like I've been playing it for so long now. And like the way that these games work, I don't have to like 100% the game. I did cheat and but I paid for it. I bought DLC so I could cheat at the
Right.
game and get through it faster. And now I'm like just right there at the end, and I just have not had the time to sit down and beat it. And I'm like, I know if I pick it up, I'm not going to stop until I finish it. So
Right.
I just haven't been. But
You're gonna
yeah,
have to sit me down sometime and explain to me what Persona 5 is, because
I haven't played Persona 5, so I haven't played it yet.
because that's one of those things that, like, it
I
looks like
never.
an RPG, but there's so much DLC for it.
It
Like,
is.
I don't is it I don't get what that is.
I know what the Persona series. I mean, I played all the other Persona games. I just haven't played 5 yet. Yeah, it's a JRPG.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it. So is like you're a person, you can just do anything, or is there a storyline, or
There's a storyline, but there's like an kind of an open world concept, but they're like it's like centered like you're a student at school. Okay. I
Hmm.
like I said, I haven't played Persona 5, but I imagine it's the same thing as the other games. You're a student at school, all right. And like the time will progress forward depending on what you do. So like if you get out of school and if you decide to go like hang out with a classmate, then the time's gonna progress forward. It won't otherwise, but you really can't do much else until that happens. I don't
okay.
know. I'll explain it outside of the show.
You
People
can
don't
send
want
me down.
to
Yeah.
record it.
I'm sorry.
People don't want to hear this. People are here because they want to hear about Heather.
Oh, jeez.
But anyway, so Heather, how did you get into the weird stuff?
I was always into the weird stuff. Let's see. My parents had me watching Unsolved Mysteries when I was little,
Oh yeah, that'll
and
do it.
that just stuck with me. I love that. It was one of my favorite shows, and grew up with mom telling me stories about the Ouija board that she had when she was young that her sister got so frightened of that she had my grandmother burn it. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've just always been attracted to stories of weird, especially ghosts.
Mhm.
Um, and then just where I live, it's in like the foothills of the Appalachians. There's woods everywhere. So I grew up hearing stories about Bigfoot. Um, the kind of thing where I just never like really questioned whether that was real or not. Just like, yeah, okay. Um,
There's Bigfoot out there. It's fine.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So I mean, I live in Minerva now, and that's the home of the Minerva monster that had sightings in the 70s of Bigfoot. There's still sightings now. Um, so it's just always been around, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. I always felt more interested in anything that had like a spooky or weird aspect to it. I mean, we're talking about like playing World of Warcraft and stuff, and I'm wanting to play the undead when I play
Right.
that stuff. Like it's just always been a part of me.
Just attracted to the strange. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
valid.
Yeah.
Some people have like, oh, I had a sighting, or oh, I saw this thing, and that's what some people they just were weird. That's
That's right. I was born weird. That's how this works.
it's a
Yeah.
genetic defect or whatever.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was third grade when my mom bought me my first Ouija board.
Well, that's cool.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just, and now my kids have been raised around it. I've got
Yeah.
multiple Ouija boards now. And like, can we play on it? I'm like, yeah, I guess. Not, just take part of it is the idea of taking the stigma away from it because I've known too many people that are like terrified
Terrified. Yeah.
for no reason
Yeah.
other than they've heard bad things. I mean, if you have an experience, that's one thing. But then I've also met people that have never had any experiences with them
Right.
and are nervous. They're like, I wouldn't be in a house with a Ouija board. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you, but you are right now. So,
I could just
but
imagine like you and your family getting together, like, oh, it's family game night, and you bust out the Ouija board.
dude, I'll send you pictures of.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you pictures of it. It was a couple years back when Spirit Halloween put out. Well, I think they're still there, but it might have been the first year they did it, where they had like a very specific Ouija board that was just for Spirit Halloween, and
Oh.
it's like I think ridiculously expensive, but whatever. I was like, whatever. It's Halloween, we're getting it. And the cool thing about it is that the planchette is made of wood. Um, the not so cool part is that the opening in the planchette, like the eye, is so huge that it can never stop over just one letter. It's like
Oh.
you always see two letters or half of each letter anyway, but it looks cool.
So you have to
So
like
I
encode
got,
it if you use it.
yeah, exactly. I think you mean H. I'm not sure. No, but so when I got that, I brought it to my parents along with my original one that my mom got me when I was in third grade. And then a glow in the dark one. And I have a picture somewhere of like my mom, my dad, my brother, my kids, or a couple of the kids, not all of them. And I don't know if I'm in the picture or not, but we've got all three boards set up on the dining room table and everybody's playing with the board.
That's so
Um,
wholesome.
yeah, right. So like that's definitely happened. That's not a stretch.
I love that. I think that's wow. Like I said, I think that's awesome. I think that is good that you're trying to destigmatize that whole because yeah, that's one thing I have to parrot a lot is that it's Ouija boards they're not inherently evil. It's
Right.
not,
Right.
you're not going to be possessed by a demon just because you use one. It's the same. It's just another tool of divination, and some people even hearing that though already they're like, oh, I don't like that, I don't, so I think it's
Right.
good that you're so I mean it sounds like you had a lot of parental influence kind of into the weird anyway growing up. You guys just had that, well, like I said, it was just in your genes to do it and be weird. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
I
that's
mean, it was
that's
pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds neat. So Heather, how did you get hooked up with the small town monsters deal? I mean, how did you get involved in that whole in that tiny project?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when Seth started Small Town Monsters, the first project that he did was Minerva Monster. I grew up in a really small town called Carrollton, which is right next to Minerva. Um, like they were high school rivals and so on. So when word got out that there was this documentary that was being filmed about the Minerva monster and its Bigfoot, then um, I was like, obviously my interest was piqued. Um, and Seth then had a Minerva Monster Day, which was this festival in downtown Minerva. So I went to the first Minerva Monster Day festival and just kind of kept an eye on what was going on because it was interesting. But really, what hooked me was when he did the Mothman of Point Pleasant. And I enjoyed I don't know, there was something about the research and the history that was put into it that just caught me more than the previous films. And
Sure.
so I had messaged him. I think it was probably, to be honest, it's probably because of he had a picture of this, it's James Gay Jones, Appalachian Stories. I can't remember the name of the book, but it's an orange cover that he like flashes that on the screen. And I'm like, I have that book. I know that book. And that's pretty much what got me. And so I messaged him then on Facebook and I'm like, hey, I appreciate the work that you do and the research that you put into it. And that's my favorite thing pretty much from my days in college was the research.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, if you want anybody to research at any point in time, I will help you. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll keep that in mind. Fast forward a year or so later, I was doing my own stuff and looking into cursed objects,
Yeah.
specifically about I'd been in contact with the National Park Service about things that were returned to them at Gettysburg. And then I've been looking into the rocks at the Bell Witch Cave. Obviously, during all of this, I'm still watching STM and what Seth is making.
Sure.
And I was at a premiere, and I can't remember what it would have been. It was at Canton Palace Theater anyway. He was premiering one of his movies, and at the question and answer section afterwards, he mentioned that they were thinking about doing the Bell Witch at some point. And so I messaged him again. I was like, hey, I already have stuff on that if you wanted it, like if you need help or just want to take a look at what I have. And he's like, you know what, that might actually come in handy. And then the next thing you know, he's like, how about you come on before we even get to Bell Witch? Let's start you with Momo. And so I started with the research with Momo, and then everything after that, it's just been more involvement. Because Momo, it was pretty, I don't want to say simple research because it took a lot of digging, but
Sure.
compared to now,
Yeah.
it was more like just track some people down that were a part of the original family if you
Right.
can, and then Seth would contact them. So I sent him a list of like contacts, potential contacts. But then everything after that has gotten progressively more involved. Now I'm the one contacting them,
Right.
helping schedule stuff for our film shoots. I got to help write Skinwalker Howl of the Rougarou, which was amazing. That's like my baby. So it's just more stuff all the time, and I love it.
And now you're just here to stay. He can't get rid of you
Yeah,
now.
that's that. I hope he doesn't. I mean, that's my goal, to stay.
No, that's okay. I guess I didn't realize that you guys had met because of all that. For some reason, and I don't know, maybe it's because we're all Ohioans. I just assumed you guys like knew each other already.
Yeah. No, what's really weird is I didn't find this out until years later, but apparently we were both at the Finding Bigfoot town hall meeting that
Oh,
was in Canton, Ohio in 2014, I think.
wow.
Which I convinced my dad to come sit with me to the during the filming, because
Sure.
we used to watch Finding Bigfoot all the time. And that is where, as I'm standing in line, this woman was right in front of me. She was by herself, and we started talking because the line was taking forever. And that was Shannon LeGros.
Wow.
Um, and because she used to live in Ohio. And
Yeah.
so I met her before I met Seth, actually. And this was before she'd started into the fray, like shortly beforehand, because
Yeah.
we became friends on Facebook. And then it was shortly after that that she launched the podcast. But I have a video, like she has a picture somewhere of her with Renee, because Renee greeted everybody outside and she had me take her picture.
That's really cool.
So I took the picture for Shannon, and then Shannon held my phone while Renee recorded a video for my oldest daughter, who at the time was only like 4, so she couldn't come to the
Yeah.
recording. But Renee sent her a message. But anyway, I guess that's the place where Shannon met Seth for the first time,
Wow.
because when we went in, they told you where to sit, and since Shannon was like just the one person, they had her go to the one side of the room, they had Dad and I go to the other, and I think she got seated next to Seth, if I'm remembering the story correctly. And that's how they got connected. But I did not meet Seth for another year or so, myself.
That's talk about synchronicity, huh?
Yeah, it's really weird.
That is really weird, but you know what? I nothing surprises me anymore. So
Yeah, yeah.
just to be honest, no, that is pretty neat. Yeah, I know that we have talked about it, just kind of chatting, and you had mentioned that, of course, the Bell Witch, that's been tops for you. That's been is that still your favorite now? Now that you guys have done all this stuff?
um, hey, Bell Witch will always have a special place in my heart. So I don't know, man. I Rougarou, even though I'm not really, werewolves aren't really my thing,
Sure.
or Dogman or whatever, but the amount of research that I got to put into Rougarou that actually made it, that got into the script writing and stuff for the narration, that may legitimately be my favorite right now. Jersey Devil, though,
Yeah.
that one's also got me,
Yeah.
which isn't out yet officially, but for Kickstarter backers it is. And I don't know, that one was a blast. It was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
I bet. I haven't been up to the Pine Barrens yet. I can't wait to go though. I'm like
It
itching.
is weird. We went there just, I mean, it was less than 48 hours, I think, from the time we left Ohio, drove out to the Pine Barrens, got a couple interviews, and drove back.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah, I believe that.
yeah, yeah,
I know
it
that
was,
life.
mhm. Yeah, it was chaotic, but we did spend an afternoon in the Pine Barrens, and it was weird. It was, well, part of it we couldn't even see because there had been a forest fire and they had certain areas closed.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but I guess I've never seen so many pine trees together, so, like as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
It just is, I don't know, desolate. I don't know if that is the right word for that, but
It's like
because
swampy, isn't it?
there was an area that was swampy that we saw, but we were walking through the woods, and it was
Yeah.
just pine forests are nice because you don't have a ton of underbrush to worry about.
Yeah.
Um, so that's mostly what I saw. But we did come across like house foundations and stuff. So it made me wonder what used to be there.
Yeah.
One place we pulled over by a swamp. It was by a swampy area, and I'm always off looking for rocks and stuff to pick up because I'm very rarely the one with the camera. That's
Sure.
unless it's behind the scenes stuff or whatever. I'm usually just back on my phone taking pictures or something during the filming. But so I wander off and look for rocks to take home, and I found some house foundations, and the one led to a basement. So I was down
Oh,
looking for stuff there, but didn't find anything spooky, unfortunately. But I'm always on the lookout for it anyway.
not this time.
Yeah, not this time. But
Maybe
I did
next time.
bring see, but I did bring pine cones home because I thought pine
That's
cones from the
cool.
Pine Barrens makes sense.
Yeah.
What I wasn't thinking, which I don't know why this wouldn't have been something that crossed my mind, was that there were ticks in the pine cones. And
Oh,
so, well, I'm guessing that's where they came from anyway. There were ticks then in the Jeep and then on us later. They're like, it's because you brought the pine cones in the car. I'm like, oh, well, guess what? There's no ticks in the pine cones now. They're safe. No worries. Um,
let me have my
so
pine cones, damn it.
that's right. Yeah, they're inside. They're like, where's Heather? Oh, she's probably finding rocks or bones. Sometimes
Yeah.
you can find bones. Those are cool too.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm like a little goblin just hoarding little bits and pieces of things that ooh, this one's pretty. And
That's okay. Hey, you know
yeah,
what? That's just fine. Someone's got to appreciate that stuff. So
yeah, yeah,
I do. I'm here for the goblin energy. That's for sure. Yeah,
that's right.
I tell people all the time, I tell them I'm like, I'm not so much afraid of like Bigfoot or Dogman or whatever in the woods. I'm more afraid of other people
Yeah.
and ticks.
Oh, I hate ticks. They make me mad. And I also am like a mosquito magnet. So,
Me too.
um,
Yeah.
and I mean, I get bit, I get the welts, and then they bruise.
Ooh.
Um, and I'll have the bruises for months. And so, like, we just got back from Texas, and we in Dallas. I wasn't even thinking about this. I wasn't even outside that much. We were outside for like one interview in Dallas. By the time I got back in the house, I had about a dozen bites on
Oh
my
my
legs.
gosh.
I'm
Yeah,
like, dang it, of course. Nobody else. I mean, eventually somebody got bit, but they come to me first. I hate it.
they like me. Well, being a diabetic, I'm like a dessert to them. They love my sugar blood. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
I get it.
mosquitoes and ticks. And yeah, I would be more concerned about a person that I saw in the woods
Yeah.
because I'm like, what are you doing there? I
Right.
know
Why are
what I'm
you?
doing.
Yeah.
Why are
I'm
you
out here
here?
looking for monsters. What the hell are you doing?
Right. Are you the monster? That's, yeah.
Yeah, I tell people that all the time. I'm like, that's the scariest thing. And of course, know in your area, people talk about like the TNT area, and I'm like, God, please, whatever you do, don't touch the fucking water. Please don't.
Yeah.
Stay away from it. Stay out of it.
It doesn't even look like something you should touch. I
No,
mean,
no. I'm like, just don't. I'm like, if you want to wade through it, fine. Make sure that you got some nice wading boots, but don't go in with your tennis shoes.
yeah.
Like you will come out with like three more eyeballs than you had before. Um, or at least just cancer 50 years down the line. I mean,
Yeah.
minimum.
Roll the dice. Roll the
But
dice.
yeah, usually, I mean, it's funny because like, we'll talk about those things. People want to know, well, what kind of equipment do you bring? What kind of this, that, and the other? And it's like, well, just basic, just you're outside. Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
you have to be mindful of the fact of where you're going to be.
Mhm.
Don't go in the woods during hunting season. I mean,
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
things like that. So, how was Texas? I know that, yeah, you guys just got back there. We had Aaron Dees on to talk about, the Dogman Triangle stuff.
Yeah.
Had you ever been to Texas before?
Nope. That was my first time in Texas.
And you guys hit a lot of like
Oh
landmark
God.
places I saw.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were there for filming for the Texas Dogman Triangle, so it only made sense to try to travel in a triangle.
Sure.
So we flew into Dallas, and then we spent every place. We were only there 6 days, so 2 days in Dallas. Then we drove down to the Austin area, although we never got into Austin itself. Um, and then we drove over to Houston for 2 days,
Okay.
and I mean, it was 3 to 4 hours, I think, in between each city.
Ouch.
Uh, yeah, but I don't know. I didn't. It was too hot, I thought.
Okay.
Um, the mosquitoes, of course, in Dallas. I was like, "What are you doing up here?" I was maybe expected near Houston, but not here. But the people were awesome.
Good.
So that was good. It was really flat, which I'm not used to
Right.
around here. Everything was dry, and that made me just sad in general because it was hot. The ground was cracked, and I'm like, oh man, you guys need rain.
This is a
Um,
terrible place.
yeah. And I did have a minor panic attack in we were headed to Goatman's Bridge, and we were driving for like 45 minutes, and we were still in the city. And
Wow.
I'm like, what is happening? But it's because I'm guessing, I don't know. It's because Fort Worth and Irving and Dallas are like all touching. So
Yeah.
you can drive. And Houston was the same way. We had a witness come to us who was in Houston. We were in downtown Houston. They were on the other side, and it took them an hour to get to us. But
Wow.
as we were on our way to Goatman's Bridge, it was just concrete everywhere, buildings everywhere, and I started to like tear up. And,
Aw.
and Zach's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, I don't know what it would be like to live here and not leave. Like, what if you grew up and you didn't know what was beyond this? How do you connect with the world and the woods and nature and all of that if this is all
Yeah.
you see? Like, people have to go out, right? Like, please tell me these people get out. Like, I don't know. It was too much for me. I grew up in the country, and I've been in big cities before, but not where, like, when you're in a city, you're in there and you're just looking around a little bit, not like actively driving for
Right.
so long and the city is still there. I'm just
Yeah.
like, what is, there's too many people, too many people.
There's no grass here.
That's right. Exactly. I need green. I don't, I need green.
Well, at least now we know that you aren't
Yeah, I hate to tell you where I grew up. Shit.
I know. Yeah. Well,
Place of nightmares.
yeah, Pat's in Chicago, so he's
Oh yeah, I was in Chicago once upon a time for like a day when we were filming Lake Michigan Mothman.
yeah.
Um, and that was fine though when I was in it because we drove into the city and
You
we
can get
weren't
out
there
of
very
it.
long.
Right.
And then we got out of the city, but it didn't take us an hour to get out of the city from where we were anyway. I don't know. Dallas
what were
was
you
too
guys?
much for me.
What were you guys using as a home base?
Uh, when we were in Chicago, we were at that hotel that has ghosts in it. By the
Congress.
lake. That's it. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there. So we were at the edge of the town, I guess, because we were right on the lake.
Mm.
Sure.
Um, we never saw the bean, which was fine.
You didn't get to flick the bean?
No, no.
Oh, well.
Thanks for
But
making that
mostly,
joke, Ashers. That way I didn't
yeah.
have to and be a total creep. Somebody had to, and it was you. Thanks for jumping on that grenade.
Had to be me. I know my role here. No, I'm just wow, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I watched I haven't watched all of the documentaries yet. But for the most part, I'm a backer. I like to watch the new stuff coming out. I haven't watched Jersey Devil. I'm excited
Oh my
because
gosh, I'm so excited to hear what you think.
I'm very excited because it's been one of my favorites. I loved American Werewolves. I thought that was
Mm-hmm.
it. I don't know. I guess I don't know what I expected. I suppose I expected more lore, but then when it was just witnesses, relaying
Mm-hmm.
their stories, and as a matter of fact, one of the stories that was told there is one that's in my town. It's local to me,
Mm.
and I had actually connected with that witness, and like now we've been kind of talking and sharing notes on the area, and things
Nice.
like that. So it's the Germantown area. So
Oh, Adam.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Adam and his
Nice.
story. Very, very cool guy, very nice guy.
Hmm. Oh
Um,
yeah.
he's had a lot of really cool information. But it's funny because for me and that whole deal, I have like history with that area because I started off when I really started getting into this stuff, I was just a dumb teenager. We would get high and go joyriding and go like look for ghosts, right? And
Yeah.
Germantown, Ohio was our spot. Like we went there almost every night. And it's because there was like a haunted area there and
Mm.
like a haunted street. It's called Fudge Road. I've talked about it on the show before. And we would go and there's all these like fucked up stories and we would have like fucked up experiences there.
Yeah.
One time driving up there, so there's a road, there's a little road and it starts off, it's actually like a bridge, it's a 1 lane bridge and then you're on basically a dirt fucking road. And we would like take that route. It wasn't Fudge Road, we would take that route to get to Fudge because it was creepy. And we swear that we saw somebody dumping a dead body there. I mean, to the point to where
Mm.
like we had the police on the phone and this was like before we didn't know where we were. We just knew this area and we would drive around and we were like trying to like explain to them how to get to us. And so we call it Dead Man's Road. And so there was all these like mysteries around this area anyway. So I had heard about people are like, well, there's a werewolf there. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. That's my first. I'm like, ghosts, sure. Werewolves, no, that's ridiculous. That was my first reaction to it. And like
Sure.
nowadays, it's really starting to come out that people are like, well, yeah, there is this. So after you guys came out with American Werewolves, we went down there. I talked to Adam, for a while and, got a little bit more insight about where to go because it's not like it's just one street, it's a big area.
Right.
And we went down there and we didn't find anything, and let's be honest, 98% of the time you don't find anything. But
Yeah, exactly.
we go down there and I had to pee really, really bad. And so we stopped at like the next town over. And the only place that was there was this little tiny bar. So I go into the bar and I'm like, I go pee and I come out and they're like looking at me because I'm weird, this weird gothy chick that just, they don't just redhead. They don't know. And I'm like, hey, so, I'm here and I'm an investigator and do you guys have a monster? They're like, what? I'm like, like a monster, like a big dog, a big wolf monster. And they just had fucking no idea what I was talking about. And
Oh man.
sometimes you can go into those places and everybody there has a story, right? And sometimes
Yeah.
you go into that place and you're fucking crazy and you need to leave. So
Yeah.
anyway, I just thought I'd share
Yeah.
that.
That happened to us when we were on Chestnut Ridge. We had gotten locked out of the Airbnb, and
Oh god.
what we were told was to go to the I don't even know what this place. It's like a gaming place. You could buy beer or whatever, but it's mostly like slot machines and stuff.
Oh, okay.
They're like, you can go down there and they'll have a backup key or whatever.
Weird.
And, yeah, right. So we walked in and they're like, well, what are you guys doing here? And we started explaining. And the one guy's like, yeah, well, I don't remember if he said his uncle or something. He's like, he was around when the Kecksburg stuff happened. And he saw them take the acorn thing away. And he starts in this whole story. And I'm like, man, I really wish that I could hear more of this, but I need to go to sleep.
Right.
Because by that point it was really late. But we lucked out on, I mean, that is cool when you can luck out on stuff like that. But
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I tell people sometimes just talk to the locals. It's so neat.
Mhm.
Some of the stuff and again, sometimes you're nuts.
Right. That's what it would be. It would be great if we could, and it's tough to do for documentaries, but I think it would have worked for Rougarou too. The amount of people that I would call,
Yeah.
it would say, well, all you got to do is just go down and walk down the street and start knocking on doors. Everybody's got a Rougarou story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish that I could, but whenever we only have like a limited time to be there and you have to get so many
Right.
interviews for a movie, it's tough to just wing it. We have done things like that to a certain extent. It happened when we were in Alaska, where we ran into some people just by coincidence. But you can't throw a whole documentary on that, at least with the status that we are. Maybe
Right.
someday, if you've got a lot of money that we can like bank on, but not with a small company right now. That's not something we can do.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, it's good for research purposes. I mean, even if you're just sightseeing the areas, man, I'll tell you,
Mhm.
go to the gas stations, talk to the clerks
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah.
because they get all kinds of, even if they haven't had anything, they're like, well, yeah, so and so, and this and that. They'll tell you who to go to.
Exactly.
They will. They'll just talk to you, and
Mhm.
because they hear it all. They hear everybody. Everybody stops there. So in the town. But yeah, I can understand being limited on time. I mean, that is the toughest part. You only get so much of what you're doing, and sometimes you just get caught up in what you're doing. It just depends on how you investigate too, and you get caught up in what you're doing that you kind of lose track, and you have to like drop other things and pick up something else, and it
Mhm.
just sometimes it could take twists and turns. So I understand that. But you guys have a pretty well-oiled machine. I mean, you have a whole. I mean, how many people work within your team?
4.
Well,
Yeah, well, like, so when we went to Texas, there were 4 of us that came from Ohio, and then we had
right.
Shannon LeGros and then Aaron. Um, but in Ohio, like at the office, there's 4 of us.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and then we have Alexander Petikoff out in New England
Doing his
doing
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, his stuff, and then Eli Watson's out in California. But as far as being at home, that's it right now. There's 4 of us.
Yeah.
And then if we need, like, Brandon Dalo does our music scores and stuff, but he's out in California. But yeah,
Right.
day-to-day stuff, there's 4 of us.
Oh my gosh. I
So
guess I thought there was more of you. I don't know why.
no, nope, there's just 4.
Oh, I guess
That's
because you
fine.
you pick people up and something, then they sometimes move along. Well, and that's a hard thing
Yeah.
too, especially when you have a whole project, keeping people and having
Yeah,
them commit to it, because it's not like it's racking in millions of dollars.
right. Exactly. Yeah, and to keep it, to keep it consistent and to have stuff out so that we can keep it afloat. It's something that's just nonstop.
Yeah, you have
Um,
to. Yeah.
and it's tiring.
Yeah.
It's tough and it's tiring. And yeah, it's definitely, it's cool to go on the trips and stuff. And I think that a lot of people see the pictures of us traveling and they're like, oh, that's great. And it is. It's wonderful to be able to go to these places. Um, but it is a lot of work for just a few people to get it all together in between all of that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Definitely. Well, right. And then people don't see the boring stuff. I mean, my God, how many books do you have to read on one subject? At least 20.
right, 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 exactly. And then you got to go to the websites, and then you got to track people down, and
Right. You talk to them.
um,
Right.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's a lot of it is a lot of like secretarial work sometimes.
yeah, exactly. And then we just started the publishing branch,
Yeah.
and it's like really, it's learning a lot of stuff in a short period of time, baptism by fire sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
Got Bruce Hallenbeck's book, and had to go through the editing, had to learn how to format stuff and make sure that we have all the proper documentation that we need for things when it comes to like photos and stuff like that. And then figuring out how to work all these programs that I've not had to use before.
Yeah.
Or even just using Word in a new way. Because
Right.
there's stuff that I learned about Word that I've used Word extensively before, never had to learn how to put captions beneath a photo,
Right.
because that's just not something I've ever needed on my own stuff. So, um, but everything's got more stuff, and I'm working on Aaron's book going through, and Aaron's is going to be, I would already, there's no way that it's not more intensive editing wise than
Yeah.
Hallenbeck's book. Um, but Aaron's been awesome to communicate with when it comes to stuff. I'm like, hey, I got this idea. What do you think about footnotes when it comes to, because there's all these little tangents that you can go off of that add depth to it, but aren't like integral to the main part of the story. I'm like, how about footnotes? Not endnotes though, because nobody likes to flip that far to see what you're talking about. How about
Sure.
footnotes? And he's like, no, that I'm down for that. I'm like, okay, cool. Uh, but yeah, it's a lot, and it's like right now Hallenbeck's book is done and like just got finished.
Right.
So there's a little bit of time to breathe, and we don't have any major trips coming up. But when you look at like right before we went to Texas, the gear up to getting everything situated for Texas, Hallenbeck's book was getting, I had to finish the edits and send it off to him like the night before we left for Texas,
Wow.
for approval. And then we had Texas come back, see what he had to say about his edits, and then immediately start in the formatting process so we can get the book out
Right.
by the time we were hoping for. And I don't know, it's just it's a lot sometimes,
Well,
What
but
and
it's
is
oh, go ahead.
what
fun.
what does Heather Moser want to work on next?
What does Heather Moser want to work on? As far as like documentaries that I would like to pitch for Seth.
No, I mean like whatever. Like
Oh,
what do you want to
well,
write a book about? What do you you know what I mean?
yeah,
Instead of like
yeah,
it sounds like you're part of a machine and they give you work to do, you do it, but what do you want to do?
yeah. So I want to focus my own personal stuff. I want to focus on like Appalachian folklore and folk tales and ghost stories, monster stories, all of that stuff, but keep it in Appalachia. And just because that's home, that's my roots.
You ever talk to
So
the Mystic Novelty Company people?
I have talked with them a little bit, not in depth, but yeah, I bought Robin's actually her makeup palette that she just came out
Yeah,
with.
me
I got that
too.
for my I got that for my daughter at the
Yeah,
pawn
we
shop.
all have one.
That's right. I was like, this is perfect. I mean, I don't wear it. I gave it to my daughter as well, but um, yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it would all culminate, exactly how it would all come together, but I would love to focus on home, um, and all
Sure.
of the stories that go along with that and help preserve those. And so I actually put out a call on my Instagram. I think I did it on Facebook too, but Instagram a few months back asking for people in particular New York counties that are in Appalachia because I wanted to start accumulating stories from each county,
Yeah.
um, and then work my way through all of Appalachia. But start in New York because there's not a ton there, before I like throw myself into West Virginia, which is the whole
No.
state.
Yeah.
Um,
Which you'll never finish, but no, I'm just kidding.
right, probably not. But I don't know. I just want to. That's what I'd like to. I mean, ghost stories especially, but if there are monster stories, that's cool. And just little odds and ends of stuff that's getting lost. The longer that we go without recording it. Um,
Yeah.
so it even crossed my mind to get like audio of people telling their stories so that you can
Sure.
hear the different voices and the dialects. Because even I sound different than my parents with the way I
Right.
pronounce some words, and they sound different than my grandparents did. And each generation, it's kind of getting muted out. Um, so I'd like to have all of that recorded somehow for later on when it is gone.
That would be really cool, actually, I think. I mean, just even as a record, having as some type
Yeah.
of, resource to pull from.
Mhm.
Even if you didn't take it and make a show or make a doc or whatever, just to have
Right.
it. Um, I think would be a good
Yeah.
idea because there is a lot of like lost media out there about this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just these people aren't around anymore to tell that story. So I think that is neat. So Heather, do you want to take like the folklore stuff and do you want to write about it? Is that what you would like to do a book? Is that what you were kind of getting at?
I mean, yeah, I mean, at some point, it's always been a goal to have a book of some sort. I have always loved writing. I like writing articles, blog posts, things like that.
Yeah.
For a while, wrote for the End of the Fray Weird Writer blog, and that was a lot of fun. And
Cool.
then
Yeah.
for a brief period of time, I was a co-host on the Caravan Library of Lore with Lady Anne, and she had a blog. There hadn't been a lot added to it in some time, and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just kind of like stretch my legs a little bit and try some stuff out? And she was like, yeah, go ahead. And pretty consistently for several months, I was putting out a blog post, I think every week. And in that, I kind of took on this character of someone who is having you step up into the caravan and let's go on a journey and see, let's follow the wild hunt that we just saw, see what happens there. Let's go to the crossroads and integrate like storytelling elements in with actual folklore. But at the end of every blog post, whether it was for Shannon or the caravan, I always had like the bibliography, because I wanted it. I want elements to always track back to something that is written down somewhere so that we can keep the stories going.
Sure.
Um,
Did you have a live journal back in the day?
I did not have a live journal. There was Zanga for a brief period of time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was its bastard cousin or whatever.
I had Zanga.
Yeah, I had Zanga. I don't remember. I mean, that was more just like diary type stuff, I guess, like
Right.
an online diary than writing the articles and blog posts like that. But I don't know. I'd like to start something up like that again and just, I don't know, add things to it. I don't know yet. I don't have a clear vision of what a book would look like, but
Right.
someday it would be amazing to have one. I envy the people that like pump these books out constantly.
Right.
I don't like, we went and interviewed for the lore, I was out in Alton, Illinois, presenting at a conference, and I interviewed Troy Taylor for the lore, while I was there.
Yeah.
That the amount of books that he has is insane. And basically, it's the kind of thing, what I gathered was if he's interested in it, then he'll start researching it and he writes a book. So his stuff is all over the map as far as what he's written about, because I was interested in it. So I decided to take a few months and research and write. And I'm like, that's what I need to do. I would love to do that someday.
I can't do that. I wish I could. I can't. Well, somebody, I'm trying to do this Mothman book, and my goal right now is to have it on the table at the Frogman Festival this March. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And, especially because we are, also we're coming to Monster Fest, and I definitely wanted to have books by then.
Yeah.
That was my original goal.
Oh yeah. When is that? That's the one we sponsored?
We're a sponsor.
When
June 3rd.
When is it?
June 3rd of 2023.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And so that was like my original goal. I was like, okay, I want books by June 3rd. Well, then Jeff Craig approaches me and is like, hey, do you want to MC the Frogman thing? And I'm like, okay, I want to have books by March 4th.
Yeah. I'll be there talking. I'm one of the speakers for that too.
Oh yeah, you are. Yeah, I knew that. So you can see both Heather and I at the Frogman Festival and March 3rd. And Pat O, I guess, is going to be there too.
I will be hosting the official after party in the Great Wolf hot tub.
That's
Hot tub after party. We're going to record an episode of the show.
What he says. But yeah, so anyway, but you're right, I agree with you, because I'm struggling just to like sit down and write this book, and all I got to do is write, like all the information's there, I just need to put it together.
Right.
And exactly. It's like, but then somebody will come to me and be like, hey, I've got this property with maybe this thing on it, or hey, I saw this thing, we check this out, and then I have to like pick and choose what I'm doing. So I don't know how people just like jam it out on one topic. I don't get that.
They don't play video games, and they don't have babies.
Well, true.
Yeah, that's
the key to being productive.
We talked with Nick Redfern when we were in Texas.
Yeah, he's got Aaron. A lot.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was Aaron that asked him, but it might have been. Asked him how he goes through the books. It might have been Shannon, I don't remember. But anyway, he basically said, well, I take about 2 or 3 months, and that's just all I do. Like I get up, I do it. He works on it during the day, and then whatever in the evenings, but like that's his work day for a few months, a couple months. I'm like, okay, all right.
I guess that's how you do it. But how do you make everything else stop?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet, which is why I go, if I write anything, it's an article or a blog post.
Yeah.
It's short stuff. Meanwhile, I mean, even writing the Rougarou script, what helped for that was that it was broken up. I mean, we had sections that we knew we wanted to cover.
Right.
So that was, and you also couldn't overload the narration either, because, I mean, we have Lyle talking, but, the movie's only so long, and he's not the only one talking. You got witnesses talking. So it wasn't a ton of writing, but it helped to have it broken up into smaller segments, which I suppose one could argue is like chapters in a book. But
But they can go
I
fuck themselves. It's not the same thing.
yeah, I still feel like whenever you're like, oh, but it all has to connect in a cohesive whole, like a book.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how about a short story compendium, though? How about that? Let's try that.
Well, you certainly could, eventually. I mean, we have things like, just look at like Keel, right? There's books of
Mhm.
just his collection of newspaper articles.
Yeah.
So it's not like that's unrealistic, and especially in this type of community.
A
Yeah.
lot of
Well, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say a lot of writers after their first novel will release a collection of short stories.
Right.
Right.
Joe Mino did that. Bret Easton Ellis did that. I'm sure there's lots of them. I mean, that's something that Stephen King does that all the time. I mean, he cranks out novels a year though, but I mean, the short story anthology thing is not, it's a legitimate literary form.
Right.
Right.
So if that's what you start with, that's what you start with.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I would recommend that everybody, not just YouTube, but like even all of our listeners, November is National Novel Writing Month. And I participate in that pretty much every year. And it's a great, the goal is basically to sit down and write 1,700 words a day, every day in November. And, some days are easier than others. Some days it could take longer than others, but I mean, everyone's got an hour or two that they doom scroll through their cell phone, or they play video games, or you read someone else's book. And that's, how do I find time in November? I don't read in November, and I read constantly. Right. So if I just cut out my reading time, sorry to burp, and focus that on writing, that's all you need, and these guys that are saying, oh, I write 8 hours a day. Hey, good for them. I don't know what, their situation is, but not everyone could do that, but you can find an hour to two. And really, you'd be surprised how much, if you sit down, and maybe all day at work, you sit down and you make some notes in your phone or on a note card, like what I'm going to write about tonight. And then when you sit down for 2 hours, you can easily get down 2,000 words. And if you do that for a couple of weeks, you can get together a 50,000 page novella or book. And not to talk shit about any of the authors that you talked about here, but I've been to enough of these conferences and picked up enough people's books to realize that a lot of these authors and the shit they release and like dump out on Amazon, I think you listen, there's only one Stephen King. There's only one, I hate to bring up Bret Easton Ellis. I'm brain farting right now. Like there's the authors that everybody knows, and then there's a whole bunch of other people that also write that aren't that good, that are still okay, that are still making money off it, and still have a fan base and are still respected. So don't worry if you're not the best. A lot of these people that sell these books, they're not the best, but they just the difference is that they finish things and they put it out.
Yeah.
Right. And that's all it is.
That's true.
So don't hold on to shit. Anything you write, put it out there to the world to see. Otherwise, what's the point of doing it? And Amazon will self-publish, they used to just self-publish ebooks like on Kindle. Now you can self-publish paperbacks. And you can upload your manuscript in Word and with some cover art, and they will throw a ISBN, or they'll throw a barcode on it, and they'll sell it, and they'll print it, and there you go. You know what I mean?
Well, Heather doesn't need that tip because she works for a publishing company.
Yeah. No, that checks out. Yeah.
But I'm saying
that sounds correct.
This was not me giving Heather Moser industry advice.
Okay.
Please. Don't flip the script. I'm just talking about the YouTube. I'm DIYing it for our audience. Like you two can do this stuff. Like, please.
Yes. It's very easy. Yeah, it is very it's not very easy, but it's not all that difficult either. It's not impossible.
The idea part, coming up with a sustainable idea and then putting the words down. No, that is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. Right. But that's the work.
It's doable.
Yeah, getting the books published and seeing your name on a book that you could sell at a event or whatever, or something that you could put on your own bookshelf, that's not hard. That's actually very easy.
Not at all. Heather, how is the small town publishing going? Is it are you guys getting a lot of bites on it? You getting a lot of people that want to work with you guys?
Yeah. So right now we had the children's book that we put out first, Curious Creatures, the Vegetable Man, and that was a whole other ball game than Hallenbeck's book. That's only the second release.
Right.
And then we have Aaron's book coming. And then we have people that have submitted some things, but we don't officially have anybody else signed yet. Partially because I need to know the time frame. Like, well, we need to know the time frame, not just me, but we have the movies to make as well. And I want to make sure that when it comes to editing, especially, that I am able to put enough time into it. Right. So anybody that's contacted me, I'm like, okay, realistically, your book won't be coming out. If we can do it, your book won't be out until like middle of next year, just because I can't do it justice. We've got to get artists and the formatting and all this stuff to do it and then hype it up like we want to. I can't do that. We can't turn it out in like 2 months.
Well, right. With having just a small team, I mean, that's just the reality of it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, we've had people submit stuff. I have at least one full manuscript sitting in my inbox to look over. But as soon as that author had emailed me, I just said, listen, we're going to Texas. I got to finish this other book.
Right.
I will get back to you in a couple months. I at least until we get things, I don't know, until we get things in more of a routine, we're just trying to keep it small, just a few, until we get an idea of what we're doing and how to do it at a decent pace.
Right. So that makes sense.
But yeah, lots of children's books. I feel like I've gotten more people asking about children's books than other books. And some people already have the children's books written. They just don't have artists, or some that have it all done. They just wanted somebody to publish it.
Wow.
So I don't know. It's not that we have a lack of people, of necessarily asking. It's just right now, to do it the way that we feel comfortable doing it, it's going to take us a while to get through some more stuff.
Sure. Well, right. I mean, again, it's not like when you're a big publishing company, you have people whose job it is to just read it, and then you have people whose job it is to just edit it, and so
yeah, and we all want to agree on it too. It's not just like, it's not just my call about a thing just because I do the editing. Like, Seth has to approve it, of course.
And my little diatribe was directed towards all those people. Quit bothering nice Heather Moser with your unsolicited manuscripts and just fucking print the stuff yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
enough going on. All right, you're gonna sit there and read your 300-page fan fiction. Like, print it yourself. Leave her alone.
Wow.
I disagree with me.
Well, I mean, it's got to be also what I think I like about all of this right now anyway, is that the stuff that I have been reading, obviously it falls under the umbrella of something that our community would like. So therefore I'm already interested, but it's also not as if I haven't had people, luckily nobody sent me a full manuscript. I wouldn't have read it anyway, but I have people throw ideas just like through Instagram or something that has nothing to do with cryptids or general strangeness, or nothing that would fall under the category of small town monsters.
Yeah.
Because they heard there's a publishing company now and they know somebody who's involved. And I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna, I could point you somewhere else, maybe.
Go ahead.
Or print it yourself, like you said, but that's not gonna work for us.
What is the most off-base pitch that you've gotten so far?
The most off-base pitch? I don't even know, because I throw this stuff. There's so much stuff going on that when this like that kind of thing happens, I immediately push it out of my brain about as quickly as I can. Right now, we don't have anything. Like, the goal, at least at this point, is to not have something that's necessarily a complete fictionalized novel. So I mean, like Veggie Man, that's a kid's book. But
Right.
like Hallenbeck's book is a memoir. Aaron's is research / memoir. Um, personal accounts, that kind of thing. But getting a pitch for like a like someone who's wanting to create a world like Tolkien or something,
Right.
that's not in the realm of what we're doing, at least right now. So anything that I've gotten like that is, I guess it's not totally off base because people in our community like that kind of stuff, but it's off base for what we're doing right now.
Has anybody pitched erotica?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
That
yet.
sounds like a challenge.
Yeah. Well, my first, not my, I guess not my first foray into stuff, but the first time I went into any type of werewolf searching for a Rougarou, the amount of werewolf erotica that is online is ridiculous. It's even just Amazon, Googling on Amazon, like Rougarou books or something, and all this erotica. I'm like, what is happening?
It's like ravaging the Rougarou. And yeah, I know.
Yeah, there's a whole series about the Rougarou.
Yeah, you people are sick.
Hey.
It's like, whoa, calm down.
What about dinosaur erotica? Would you guys be open up publishing that?
I don't think, not, you know what? Maybe next year.
It's not a no.
So you guys got time to proofread.
That's right.
You got time to proofread.
If it doesn't turn them on, then they're not publishing it, Pat. Remember that. I'm surprised though, honestly. It's a big thing. I mean, yeah, that's what we were saying. That's kind of like become like a big thing lately, is like this cryptid erotica. So I'm shocked.
They're not gonna do people don't, respectable people don't do porn. Like I hate that has to be said and that I have to be the one to say it, but like, no, maybe if they have an imprint that they finance through back channels or something like that, if they really wanted to put that content out there, I'm sure they'd come up with a new LLC and
do it themselves.
Yeah, but they're not going to tarnish their brand by publishing that shit. Like, come on. You know,
nobody ever said that the people messaging Heather were respectable people, so I don't. Just kidding.
I'll tell you what, if you have a cryptid themed erotica that you want to pitch, call 773-59-WEIRD and leave us a voicemail with your hottest paragraph or something, and
we'll read it on the air.
We'll play it on the show. Yeah, 100%.
We'll play it for you. What is this? What just happened? All right, well,
we could guess what cryptid is being discussed.
Oh my gosh. That's a good idea, just from the description.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't name the cryptid that you're talking, or the creature that you're talking about. Just name a sexy scene, and then we'll guess it.
Like, do you think the Mothman would have like mind control pollen?
Maybe.
Like Mothra.
Like he would have. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Remember how Mothra had that pollen, and
it
would it would heal or make people go to sleep or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, that's. I don't fucking know. Okay, listen.
Just planting the seeds, just seeing,
If you want to write a sexy,
I don't.
Not you.
I don't.
If you want to write a cryptid erotica and you want to call it into the show at 773-59-WEIRD, we will read it out and we will try to guess what creature it is. This might be fun, actually. People might.
You know who does that though? What's her name?
What's her name?
Sarah Cooper.
Sarah Cooper does do that.
And what's her? She's got a really clever pen name too.
I have no idea.
Oh, I can't remember what it is.
Maybe are you supposed to say her pen name?
No, she like, I don't know. She told me like it wasn't. I didn't have to read it out of her or anything. It was like it was like a euphemism for like butt stuff. It was like Anna. No, it was
stuff.
Like Anna.
Anal probe. That's
no.
Her.
It was Anna something. No, it is.
Anal probe.
Yes, that's her.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
How do you know this?
Because she told me.
I'm gonna ask her.
Are you revealing secrets though?
No. I'm sure if it drums up sales, I'm sure she'd cap to it. I mean, hey, she could always say I'm lying. I mean, whatever. I'm not gonna get butthurt over it. But like, yeah, I want to say that's her.
Maybe it is her. She does have those books with her a lot.
Yes, those are the what you think she's there selling someone else's books?
We read them
No.
out loud at the first cryptid bash.
I'm like 90% sure that's her. Because I asked her about it. Because she had made a comment about it. And I had remember when I was trying to do that dinosaur thing?
Yeah.
And me and her were talking about it, and she goes, "Oh, I do this stuff. This is what it is." And
What is happening?
we're supporting female authors.
We are supporting female. That's true. We are.
Right?
We are. Yeah. Anne L. Probe. Are you serious? I'm going to ask her. I'm going to ask her if that's her. Heather, did you know this about Sarah Cooper?
No.
Okay.
No. Nope. Didn't know.
And if it's not her, I totally apologize. I'm sure she doesn't think that this is slanderous or anything. I'm not trying to besmirch her good name,
Well,
but like,
no. She's really into like that, the erotica stuff, and which is fine. But like, I didn't realize it. I thought that she was talking about writing some of it. I didn't realize that she already had.
nah, she's a doer.
There you go.
Well, that's true. She is a doer. So I don't know. There's that. Well, anyway, Small Town Monsters Publishing is looking for not that. They're looking for now. They're looking for nonfiction. I mean, maybe if you had a personal endeavor happen, maybe on a spaceship or something somewhere, and you write about it, then you could probably
Sure.
submit it. But
yeah.
then it's a true story. So
I mean, you can always send it. It's just it may not be something we
gotta mix it up,
yeah.
So okay, back to reality here. Heather, what kinds of things do you guys have coming up that you're excited about? I don't know how much you can talk about, but what kinds of things do you have coming up that you're really looking forward to?
Well, I think we announced the stuff that's coming up next year, so I should be safe for now.
Yeah, I think you did.
Coming up, Jersey Devil will be out for everybody to see. That's exciting. And then we'll have On the Trail of Bigfoot: The Last Frontier, which will be the first of 2 Alaska On the Trail of Bigfoot movies.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was complete happenstance that happened while we were in Alaska, that we got enough footage and interviews and stuff to make 2 movies. Yeah. That's not what we definitely didn't set out to do. It was something that about halfway through the trip, we were like, wait a second. This is a lot of stuff. But of course, Aaron's book will be coming out, and then the Texas Dogman Triangle stuff, some more Dogman. Mm-hmm. We're going to have the Kickstarter comes out in February, like it always does, first week of February. One unique thing about it this year is that we're going to do another documentary that's tied to the Kickstarter only. So like for the first year or so, it'll only be available to Kickstarter backers before it would ever be a discussion to make it public. And if that does well, then that's something that we are probably going to do for every Kickstarter moving forward. But that's going to be Cryptid, the Chupacabra.
Ooh.
Which we've already started filming for that. We've got more Skinwalker / werewolf type stuff coming up next year, but we have Monster Fest is the big thing. Mm-hmm. That'll be in June, and I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm super stoked about it. All the vendor spots are gone. I think we only have a couple more sponsorship slots left, but other than that, we've already been announcing the guests and speakers, and I don't know.
I'm excited for Monster Fest. I think it's going to do well.
Yeah, I'm stoked, but it's something that like the amount of planning and stuff that has had to go into it already, and we're still months and months away.
Right. Yeah.
It's only going to get more chaotic, but I think it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And where is it again?
It's in Canton, Ohio. It's going to be held at the Doubletree by Hilton. And actually, that's on June 3rd. June 2nd, the night before, we'll be premiering a movie at the Canton Palace Theater as well.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, and that's within walking distance of that hotel. So you can just walk down the street and go in. And the Canton Palace Theater is gorgeous. It's a historic theater. It just looks like almost like an opera house inside. It's
Oh,
gorgeous. So it's one of our favorite places to premiere anything. So it worked out that all lined up for us. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's going to be, of course, more Beyond the Trail. But yeah, we've got, so next year there'll be 5 documentaries that'll be coming out. If
yeah.
you count the Cryptid Chupacabra one, and then Aaron's book, and I'm sure another one, at least one other by the end of the year. And then YouTube things.
Sure.
whatever may come up on YouTube stuff. But Beyond the Trail will be one of them, of course. Alex is doing a great job with that, and so is Eli. And Eli has some stuff coming too, but I don't know if I can go into details about that. But there's
Speak for
more
him.
stuff
Sure.
coming from more stuff coming from Eli too.
Sure.
So,
Are you going to be? I know you mentioned at the beginning you've got the lore. Is there plans to bring it back at some point?
I certainly hope so.
Sure.
It's a situation where we've got a lot going on, small team, and
Sure.
no person that can dedicate the time that's needed right now to editing the podcast, because we had the lore, Monsteropolis. We just brought back Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just don't have the manpower at the moment to focus on that.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully it comes back, but in the meantime, we'll have all those other things, and then I'll be around at some events next year too. So I'll see it in Cincinnati-ish area.
Yeah, Cincinnati-ish.
Cincinnati-ish. It's all over on that side of Ohio.
It's right by Kings Island,
Okay. Yeah, so that's Cincinnati in my mind.
Yeah.
So I'll be there, and then I'll be at a couple weeks later, I'll be at a place in Pennsylvania at a paranormal conference, which the name is not in my brain right now because I'm frazzled. And then I'll be at the Haunted America conference in Alton in the summer of 2023.
So you got a busy year planned.
Yeah. It'll be fun, in between filming and stuff too. So
awesome.
It'll be good times.
Well, where can people find you at to follow everything that you're doing?
Well, if you follow Small Town Monsters, you'll follow most of what I'm doing. But if you want to follow me personally, Pagan Historian on Instagram. That's my personal account. So you'll see stuff STM related, and then I don't know, nature pictures. I have thoughts as I'm out walking around, always taking pictures of moss or mushrooms, rocks, things like that. But yeah, anything else that I would personally be doing will be posted on there as well. So, or if you have a pitch to send me that is within the next year, so I'm not talking the 2 to 3 year
plan.
Just
don't even do it.
Okay.
Just save yourself. Never
mind. I won't send my
I'm
email.
doing you a favor. This is my thank you for you doing the episode.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But yeah, so Pagan Historian is where you can find me, and then STM stuff. Just search Small Town Monsters on YouTube or smalltownmonsters.com, and yeah, that's
definitely. Pato, do you have any closing questions, comments, or concerns?
Nope, I'm done.
He does this with every guest. I don't know. He's just no. That's it. It's over.
No concerns.
No concerns.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I like the way that you answered this question. I'm concerned.
He's concerned about your inbox after the erotic.
That's true.
What's your character class in D&D? What was and while you were an undead what? And then
I was an undead warlock first.
Okay.
And this was before like the first expansion or whatever. So I had her up to level 60, and then I got her to 70 before I was done. And then I was an undead priest after that. Stuck with the undead. I tried all the other races, but always for the horde. I wasn't gonna be on the alliance side. That's too brightly colored. I didn't even like blood elves. And then D&D, I very rarely am a player. I'm usually the DM.
Oh, I know that.
So
that is my curse as well.
yeah.
But
So I can't even. It'd be a spellcaster if I did have to play something, but I'd much rather be the DM.
Okay.
Actually.
Oh, she enjoys the
So
DM. Any follow up
yeah.
questions to that, Pato?
Are you playing? Are you in a campaign right now?
No, we were in a campaign right before COVID hit, and we were playing Curse of Strahd,
Oh, cool. Okay.
which was amazing. Didn't get through it. Then COVID came, shut everything down. So we moved everything to Roll20, but I was not willing to take the time to learn how to do Roll20 as a DM. So we switched DMs and started up a couple other campaigns, but things have fallen apart. Actually, Roll20, our one DM decided to have us play Call of Cthulhu for a while, and that was really good on Roll20. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, no current campaigns. The party has everybody went their own way, it seems like. So
When you did Call of Cthulhu, did you do a voice?
I did not do a voice.
Okay.
No. Courtney was the one who always did voices for things. And then a couple other people because they actually do voice acting a little bit. So that was fun. But no, I can't. I can try. The best I did for voicing, which I wouldn't be able to recreate now because I don't have the script in front of me, but when I was doing Strahd and they came to Madame Eva's tent, I had her have like a Romani type accent as she's reading the fortunes for them.
Oh.
So I'm not averse to it. It's just something I can't do it on the fly. I gotta prep.
I can't do voices at all, so it's fine. I'm just bad
It's
at
more
it.
like an accent. I can't change my voice too much, but
Sure.
Yeah.
I can relate. I am no actress. As I tell people, I'm only good at being me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm good at. Pato, anything else?
Jeez, you want me to go again?
Well, we got
you fucking already asked me that, and I said no.
We got
then
less
you
than
pushed
4
me,
minutes.
so I talked to her about D&D for a little bit, and then then that kind of just died down, and then I put my mic back up, and now you want me to know we can release her to the night. She's free to go now.
She's stuck here forever in Wednesday land. All right, Heather. Well, thank you again so much for coming on the show and talking weird with us and being weird with us. I hope you come back. I mean, that would be nice.
Heck yeah.
That would be pretty cool. We'll find something for you to talk about.
All right.
Sure.
Sounds good to me.
All right, guys. Well, with that being said, we'll see you back here next Wednesday.